Every year, worldwide auction houses sell billions of dollars worth of art, and top museums each have tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, of works in their collections. However, only a small percentage of people acquire the level of fame required to be termed household names. Here are the top 10 famous paintings.
Number 10. Creation of Adam. Michelangelo's most famous work covers a part of the Sistine Chapel ceiling, and you have to look up to see it. God and Adam are depicted with outstretched arms, their fingers almost touching. It is one of history's most widely reproduced photographs. Michelangelo's other talent is evident in Adam's strong shape. His David is arguably the most recognized sculpture in the world. The colossal marble statue may be seen in Florence's Galleria dell'Accademia. Additional fact, among other things, years of exposure to candle smoke had tarnished the Sistine Chapel ceiling. People were surprised to see the vivid, lively colors Michelangelo originally used after a long intensive cleaning that completed in 1989.
Number 9. Las Meninas. Las Meninas is not just Diego Velázquez's most famous painting, but also one of his largest, and it is housed at the popular and massive Prado. For generations, art critics and the general public have been captivated by the work's complexity. The picture serves as both a portrait and a landscape. It's a group picture of Spanish nobility that also acts as a self-portrait of Velázquez at work, on the left. Additional fact, King Philip IV of Spain, who reigned from 1621 to 1665, commissioned Las Meninas. It was kept at the royal palace until 1819, when it was transferred to the Prado.
Number 8. The Birth of Venuses. The Birth of Venus, the oldest picture, was most likely commissioned by a member of the wealthy and art-loving Medici family, who governed Florence and the surrounding areas for centuries. Botticelli produces an outstanding figure with the goddess of love, coming from a giant scallop shell, combining a revived interest in old Greek culture with early Renaissance style. The Venus by Botticelli differs from most of his contemporaries in two important ways. He began by painting on canvas rather than the more common wood. Second, nudity was uncommon at the time, so Venus's entire exposure, sans her long, flowing hair and a hand, just covering her most private bodily parts, was brave.
Number 7. Girl with a Pearl Earring. This interesting classic is frequently linked to Leonardo da Vinci's Mona Lisa. Aside from the artistic changes, Girl with a Pearl Earring is a tronie, a Dutch word for a painting of an imaginary figure with exaggerated features, rather than a portrait. The simplicity of the oil-on-canvas masterpiece is stunning. With only a black backdrop behind her, the girl in a blue and gold turban, and a huge pearl earring is the sole emphasis. Additional fact, between 2012 and 2014, the Mauritius was undergoing renovations, and Girl with a Pearl Earring went on tour throughout the United States, Italy, and Japan. It attracted large audiences, cementing its reputation as one of the world's most famous pieces of art.
Number 6. The Kisses. With Gustav Klimt's beloved The Kiss, we transition from a study in hatred to a study in love. Byzantine aesthetic influences can be noticed in the extremely elaborate robes worn by the passionate, life-size pair, which date from Klimt's golden period. Klimt delivers a wide metaphorical remark about love being at the center of human existence, according to the Upper Belvedere. People appear to agree, based on its magnetic appeal. Additional fact, while The Kiss is not for sale, other Klimt pieces are frequently purchased and sold for large sums of money. In 2016, Oprah Winfrey sold the 1907 painting portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II for $150 million, making a $60 million profit.
Number 5. Guernica. This is the newest painting on the list, and it depicts the German aerial bombing of Guernica, a Basque village, during the Spanish Civil War. The painting has that characteristic Picasso style, and its uncompromising study of war's tragedies made it an important element of 20th century culture and history. During World War II, Guernica was transported to the Metropolitan Museum of Modern Art in New York for safekeeping. Picasso proposed that his stay be extended until Spain regained its democracy. In 1981, 6 years after the death of long-standing Spanish tyrant Gen. Francisco Franco, was eventually returned to Madrid.
Number 4. The Scream. First and foremost, The Scream is not a single piece of artwork. There are 2 paintings, 2 pastels, and an unspecified number of prints, according to a British museum blog. The works are on display at the National Museum and the Munch Museum, with one of the pastels fetching about $120 million at auction in 2012. During robberies of the 2 painting versions of the Scream, 1994 and 2004, helped raise public awareness of the artworks, similar to the case of the Mona Lisa. Both of them were finally discovered. Additional fact, the androgynous figure in the foreground of the Art Nouveau style picture is trying to block off a piercing screech coming from nature, rather than making the scream. It was based on a real-life event Munch had.
Number 3, The Starry Night. Van Gogh's creative and forceful use of thick brushstrokes is exemplified in this rather abstract picture. For decades, art fans have been captivated by the painting's vibrant blues and yellows, as well as the dreamy, swirling mood. When Van Gogh painted The Starry Night, he was being treated for mental illness in a mental institution in Saint-Rémy, France. His room's window provided him with inspiration.
Number 2, The Last Supper. Leonardo da Vinci, the Renaissance man, is the only artist who appears twice on this list. The Last Supper, painted during a time when religious imagery was still a popular artistic theme, represents Jesus' final meal with his apostles before his crucifixion. The picture is actually a large fresco, measuring 4.6 meters 15 feet in height and 8.8 meters 28.9 feet in width, making for a unique viewing experience. Additional fact: Napoleon's forces used the wall of the refectory on which the fresco was created as target practice, and the fresco has withstood 2 wartime attacks. When the roof of the Dominican monastery of Santa Maria del Grazie in Milan was devastated by bombs during World War II, it was exposed to the air for several years.
Number 1, Mona Lisa. It should come as no surprise that the intriguing woman with the enigmatic smile is the most famous artwork in the world. But it's one of the few things we know for sure about this work of art. Lisa Gherardini, the wife of Florence merchant Francesco del Giocondo, is assumed to be the sitter in the painting, but scholars aren't positive. According to the Louvre, where it was first installed in 1804, the painting is the oldest known Italian portrait to focus so intensely on the sitter in a half-length portrait. According to historians, the Mona Lisa was scarcely known outside of art circles before to the 20th century. However, in 1911, an ex-Louvre employee stole the painting and kept it hidden for 2 years.